Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black But 91. We are live and we're talking to you guys about Ready to Love. It's going to be a quick one today. It's a shorter one today. We'll have a light session on Ready to Love, and we'll have a main panel, super panel one during the course of the week, just because a few of the members are away, and I wanted to have. I still wanted to honor the Saturday and have one session going on. So we're going to keep it nice and light. We're gonna choose a few topics we want to hit, because there was some key stuff that was happening in this episode. I can't lie to you, that I would love to discuss. And so I came with my one or two crews. I know Jay will be on a little bit later on, so we'll have Jay on as well. But I got Corey with me today, so we're going to chop it up and talk about what happened in Ready to Love today. I am giving you guys opportunity to, if you guys want to join the live, limited amount of time. I don't want to waste time. If you're ready, you're ready. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Cameras up, baby. Okay, all right. Cameras up. If you want to join the live, cameras up, baby. What are you telling me, Corey?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. Feeling good, man. Ready to get jumping into this topic. So
That's what I'm talking about, boy. That's what I'm talking about, boy.
yes, sir, yes,
All
sir.
right, here. Right here. All right, cool. Let's have the first one. I think one of the major topics that happened was this particular scene right here.
No, I'm blazing.
You seem on the fence today.
I'm not on the fence. That's just how I am. I answer your question. What you want me to do?
Let's be clear. You said you didn't want to date black women.
No, I never said that. When she accused
Boom! Opening the scene with that madness, bro. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you like this. What I got from that is that Swayze felt some kind of way. I get that, but Khadian was wrong too, because she's not supposed to, double up with a friend and attack somebody you say you like. That's a red flag for him. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get that from my perspective. Um, Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I know we're gonna dive a little more into it. I just want to see what you think about that too. That first little clip.
Yeah, bro, it was a bit of an interesting one, because I think first and foremost, hey Jay, it's good to see you, baby. Obviously, first and foremost, like, I think that particular scene, I was like, yeah, she jumped in with that. I ain't gonna lie to you, she jumped in with that. Like, you and your friend both jumped in that. Plus, you shared information, so your friend now knows the situation, but you jumped in with that. That was my first thought. Then my second thought was, but why ain't you dating black people for the last 3 years? Now, I get it, you want to branch out, but you ain't dating no one in 3 years as black? I might need a bit more context behind that statement. Have you dated two Latino girls and it's a year and a half? Did it make sense? But, like, if you just haven't dated a black girl because you haven't dated a black girl in the last 3 years, I don't know if you're sore, I don't know if you're broken, I don't know if you hate your baby mama and you hate black women in general. Like, there's more context to that. So I actually understand where Kaden was coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that. I get where Caden is coming from, but like you say, you need more context with what's going on, because him just leaving it like that, and it's kind of her friend's fault too, because she didn't dig in deeper than that. She heard what she heard, and that was it. She didn't want to hear nothing else really. So yeah, but like you said, 3 years, man, that's a long time. It was 3 months to be one thing. Like in the last 3 months, I didn't date anyone of color. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of a pass there, but 3 years it's just too much, man. But for me, with Swayze, the big part about Swayze, man, I don't know if you're gonna play this clip either, but the big part about me too is that he said he didn't have a type.
Yeah.
He said he don't have a type. What you think about that?
You know, whenever you hear people say they don't have a type, that's usually a good excuse for madness.
Exactly.
It's usually a good excuse for I don't date black women all the way. Just gonna be honest with you, I don't have a type. Okay? No, I'm joking about that. But no, I mean, when people say they haven't got a type, I often question, like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean you ain't got a type? Because we all have a type. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Of course, you may have a broader type in terms of, like, you might consider many things attractive, but you don't have a type?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you like, when you have a type, it's like,
Yeah, man. To me, it sounds like you don't know yourself. And that's a huge issue right there. If you're as old as he is, I think he's what, 35, 30, 33. If you're 33 years old and you don't know yourself enough to know what your type is, or what attracts you to a woman, or what about a woman will keep you, engaged long term, then that's a flag. I mean, I don't know if it's red or not, but it's definitely a flag. So,
I hear that indeed. Jay, what's your thoughts to this, man? We're talking about Swayze Khadian situation. I want to get your kind of take on this.
I'm saying I don't have a type. I like what I like. That just means that I like what
I get attracted to. I can have a conversation with somebody else, not necessarily you would probably fit in this diaspora of being this certain body type, this certain look, this certain style, or whatever. Me and you have a conversation. We connect. I like you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's usually when most people I hear say I don't have a type or whatever and stuff, it's generally because they connect mentally with people. I'm not looking for a specific to say, let me hone in on you first and then see if we connect somewhere else. It's just more so we sit down, we talk. I like you. So I didn't really see nothing too bad on that part from him. It's just he's still young too. We got to remember he's still young. He's the youngest of the bunch. And so I fill out people. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm in a whole environment of women who are not particularly black in this area. Not most women in that area is black. I'm dating around. I don't think there was much of a problem outside of what he said. More so, there was a problem on what Khadian and her friend said. Like, why are you having a conversation with your friend and telling her to go in? Why are you not having a conversation with him to find out why it is that he has dated outside his race these past couple of years? Why are you leaving it up to the friend to be your judge and jury in that? Why she got to play bad cop? And then she's worse at it because she has less tact than you. Like, this is somebody I'm actually interested in, sis. Chill. Don't run them off.
You know what, Jay? I like what you said. When you articulated yourself by saying that it is a mental thing, it can be a mental thing, the way you just did it, that's something he should have done. He should have said it the same way you said. Like, it's not about the body type. It's not about the face, hair, things on a mental level. To be able to say that, that means you know yourself. You know that it's a mental thing. But
I'll say we could have got that and we just got the condensed version of it, you know.
True, that's true too. That's true too.
So I'm not really sure, but you know, I get where you're going, Corey. Like he could elaborate a little bit more on it, on if he doesn't have a specific type, on what do you like out of a person, because that's really what the question means. What type of person do you like?
Yep.
You know, we all do have a preference, so to speak, on what we do prefer and whatnot. You know, like I've been more attracted to dark skinned men, but I don't really hone in and lock in on dark skinned men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've dated other men. It's just that my attraction level, what attracted to me, is mostly dark skinned men, and so I find myself more so with dark skinned men.
You know what?
He's not a type.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the type, and that's what I was saying. He could have said that. We all do have that, but necessarily, if I'm more attracted to you mentally or whatnot, but more dark skinned men approach me.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, out of my options, that's what I'm going to lock in on. I'm not gonna push them aside and be like, well, no, I really want a light skinned man, or I really want a white man, or I really want some other man, or whatever. I'm gonna talk to what talks to me, and I think that's what true. In Swayze's case has been happening in the last couple of years. Is probably more different race women have been talking to him, and that's what he's been dating for the last couple of years. And if I'm not serious, and I've met a lot of people that's like this, you know, I will play with them, I'll date them, but I'm not marrying them. What I'm gonna marry is a sister. I'm gonna marry a black woman. If I can't, you know, if she can't use my comb, she can't come home. That's, you know, I've met a lot of people that say this type of stuff. So they play around in the field while I'm like, the main thing that her friend said in that moment was, oh, and you're what she called it, the dating, she called it some dating type of thing, and all your dating escapades or whatever right now. It's like, okay, that's the escapade. While you're getting it all out your system, have fun. When you're ready to settle down, go for what you're ready to settle down with.
Yeah, but I think it sounds easier, but I think you have to go through the motions also. It's like, for me, so ever since high school, if I was just dating only non-black women, and I said, I'm going to marry a black woman. When I finally do get to a relationship with a black woman, am I going to truly be connected to her in the way that I should? Am I going to know how black women in general, just by dating most of black women, you can see all types of personality types, all types of levels of intelligence. So if I'm seeing that, if I'm a part of that, it makes it easier to adapt. If I've only had one black woman to date, is that relationship going to be successful based on the fact that I haven't had any other relationships with black women to understand that piece better?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Corey. I mean, we do have to practice what we want
Yeah, that's true. True.
eventually and stuff. But, you know, in the meantime, if what keeps coming up to me is this, like say I'll approach a group of women, there's a sister in that group, but most of the other women is Latina. All the rest of them women talk to me, but the sister don't.
That happens.
Well, shoot, I'm gonna go and holler at what's hollering at me. That's how I kind of just look at it, you know. So,
Can I tell you what else happens? I know I'm going to trigger some people. Can I tell you something else that happens?
what happened?
I have a specific preference for dark-skinned women. But I've noticed that sometimes when you approach women in a group, it's not the dark-skinned girl that will talk to you. It'll be the light-skinned one. Now, that can obviously be a whole range of issues and reasons why. But sometimes I'm like, I want the dark-skinned girl, but I can't. And so now I'm stuck because I'm like, do I try to talk to the dark-skinned? Maybe she doesn't even feel me. Maybe she doesn't even like me. And then I could cock block myself. Now, you know, pushing away the light-skinned girl to try and get the dark-skinned girl, I could cock block myself potentially in some aspects. So sometimes I'm not even, and please, this is not me trying to say that anything. It's just that some of the experiences that I've had personally, sometimes I can get into a group and then you see a group of girls and the baddest one is the dark-skinned girl. But the one that's baddest is not she's not even tried to even look at you. And I don't know if sometimes if that's, maybe she's thinking that maybe us as black men, we just want a light-skinned girl, or, you know, sometimes, I don't know if they're trying to almost, we psych each other out kind of thing. But sometimes it's like, it's like, why is it that this one is the one I was talking, I wanted you, but you're not. And so sometimes, you know, I'll be honest with you, sometimes in a group that can happen. And someone might say, well, you should still go after the girl. But like, hey, if you're not giving me signals, I cannot just vacate my position and waste potential here. You know what I mean? By going after you and then you, once you shun me, the whole thing is done. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it can be a little bit tricky sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the thing I was saying though is that, you know, with him only dating non-black women, that could be his type. He could say that, you know, if that's the case. I mean, because your types you're well within your right for your type to change after a period of time. You know, maybe 5 years, you may change your mind that you do want to be dating black women. So it's really up to him. But it's just, like I said, Jay made a very good point that some things can sometimes be left out. So just based off what I heard, I just wish I had heard more.
Yeah, just before you guys let the other guys go, I think I feel it too, what you're saying, Corey. Also, the way that they came at him about it, it made it seem like he's on here dating black women just for the fun of it or whatever. And that's a little bit triggering. You know, like if you come at me like that, I would feel some type of way too. Like, that's not what I meant when I said this is what I've been dating for the last couple of months. That doesn't mean exclusively. It's just what happened to be.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right. Joe, what's your thoughts on this? We're talking about, obviously, Swayze and Khadian, his comments as well.
Right. For me, that was an ambush. Like, he kind of got blindsided because I think he shared in confidence, or like when they were conversing, I think he shared that he may have been dating non-black women recently. So I don't think he expected it to be put on blast when he turned up on the date. And it seemed like that was the point of contention for both of them. So for me, he looked very uncomfortable. He looked like he felt attacked. But when you deep what he actually said that in the last, like, because it started off with the whole dating app angle that they tried to come across. You know, are you a serial app dater? And he was like, yeah. He's been single for 3 years, because they asked him that as well. He's been single for 3 years. So now they're trying to say, okay, so you've only dated Latino women in the last 3 years on these dating apps. Red flag, right? But then his counter was, look, my daughter's mother is black. Like, I have dated black girls previously. It's just in the last 3 years, I've diversified my options. Like, I've started to look elsewhere, right, in the last 3 years. Maybe he could have been at a stage where, you know, after dating so many black women, he's chose to see what else is out there for him. Because one of the things we see is that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you find no success, then you have to change something, right? So I can kind of see why he was mad about that particular setup. But I'm not surprised that it happened. Why? Because Khadian seems to be the type of person that will go and blab somebody's business. Like, if you say something to her, or if she's got opinion on it, she's going to state it to whoever is in the vicinity. So the friend being triggered by it, Khadian being triggered by it, I understand that, because it makes it seem like the angle is that he's not genuine in his feelings about her. I'm not so sure that's the case, because he seems to be the only one checking for her, and she's the only one checking for him. So I can't get why she would try and kind of sabotage their connection by breaching his trust like that. But yeah, overall, I think the date was very problematic, and I probably would have done the same thing and made my excuses and left. For me, like you're trying to build a connection with someone and they're throwing you under the bus like that to their friends already at this early stage. And to be fair, Khadian didn't really try and give the friend more context into what that discussion may have been. So yeah, I could understand why he was pissed.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. What's your thoughts to, obviously, this conversation we're having as well outside of this, which is dating. Sorry about that. The twist Snickers went down my throat. But that sounds wrong. But obviously, what's your thoughts to? Lorraine, stop it. What's your thoughts to this conversation we're having as well outside of this topic as well? I guess alongside this topic with, dating. Black, does one stay dating black women, or when someone said they haven't got a type, does that mean they haven't got a type, or does it mean something else? Like, what's your thoughts to that, T'Challa, today? What's that? Oh, what did you do?
So, I think that when he said that he doesn't have a type, I think says that he's not specifically dating black women. I think he's saying that he's open to dating whoever is on his vibe, right? Whoever he connects with, and he's not limiting or restricting that to just one ethnicity, right? Because that might shrink his dating pool. I don't know, but it is problematic to say that to the lady that you're dating. If she's of the ethnicity that you haven't been dating in the last few years, then I could understand why that would be a very triggering thing to say, because then she's going to question, oh, so you're not really feeling me then? Like she no doubt 100% strong on the fact that she wants to date a black man. Even though she's called the other men weak, she seems to have found a connection in him to a degree, and it's her best connection. So I can understand why she would take it that way. But again, there is no one size fits all or golden rule to the dating game. If he hasn't had much success in one aspect, then, like I said, the definition of crazy is what? Doing the same thing over and over again and not getting the positive result, right? Or getting the result that you want. So, yeah, I could definitely see why that would have been seen as an insensitive comment, but I don't think he meant it in that way. By the way he was defending or trying to clarify his position, I think that he probably felt it was misunderstood. Specifically because he said that in the last 3 years, he's dated, outside of his ethnicity only in the last 3 years, but he has a child that's older than that, older than 3 years. I think she may be around 9. I can't remember the exact age, but his baby mother is black. He hasn't given any indication as to how many black women he's dated and whether his baby mother or previous relationship is the last black woman that he's dated. So I think they came in very heavy on that, and that ruined the date.
Lorraine, jump in for me. Talk to me.
I don't think there's particularly anything wrong with him saying, "Oh, no, I date who I date," and I don't think there's anything wrong with having a type. Oh, crap! Sorry. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a type, like whether you date within your race or whether you don't date within your race. Like it's your own prerogative. Do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Whatever floats your boat. I just think okay, gonna get just a tad bit heavy here. I just think as black women, speaking from my own experience, we can get a bit touchy about men who have dated outside the race or who date women who are not black. Speaking from experience, like I went to like a majority all white school, so you know, wasn't really top of the bunch back in the day. Do you know what I mean? So you can get a bit touchy about those kind of things when you can feel like, you know, most black men, I guess, might not date black women. So I feel like she already had that preconception before she went into that conversation with him. And the fact that she said to the friend, "Oh, I want you to come in here and say all these things that I can't say," she was already kind of wanting to find out a bit more about that. So they had that conversation behind the scene, and she didn't want to come off as hard-handed, I guess. And she kind of like made the friend do it on her behalf. I think she's already insecure about their relationship. Already, whatever it is. So the fact that he doesn't or he hasn't dated black women for the last 3 years, in her mind, she's kind of like associating that to the reason. Maybe this is why he's not interested in me. Maybe this is why the relationship isn't as solid or deep, because I'm not his usual type. I just think that their relationship is very superficial. It's very physical. When he's talking about her, there's no depth. Even when the friend asked her, "What do you like about her?" There was no depth in what he was saying or how he was describing her. So, but instead of her, I guess, associating that to say he's just not into me, she's just gone completely to, well, he's not into black women. As the result of why he's not that into her. Whereas I just think that he's just not into her. And if he doesn't want to date black women, he doesn't want to date black women. You know, it's all right. You don't have to roast the man or barbecue the man as the saying of the season. Do you know what I mean? So I understand why he got a bit defensive. I don't think he should have had to mention, that my daughter's black, my baby mom's is black, and that kind of thing. It's like saying, I'm not racist, I've got black friends, kind of thing. It doesn't matter. Just because you've had a child with a black woman doesn't mean that that's your preference, or just, you know what I mean? Like, you don't feel like you have to justify yourself. Just say it as it is. I haven't dated as many black women as of late. It is what it is. So that's what I think about that.
It's interesting because I would like to see his interactions with someone who's not black. I mean, it makes me curious, to be honest with you, because his inability to be able to get a connection with any of the women on the show. Usually it would be like somebody that you're interested in, someone you can have a connection with. But it seems like he can't connect with anyone on the show, which makes me curious as to why. And then having this episode come on makes me say, okay, maybe that's why, because there's a better connection. It's easier for him to connect with someone who's non-black than it is for him to connect with someone who is black. So I would like to see his behavior if there was probably another woman on the show or whatever that wasn't black versus how he acts around black women. That'll tell me everything I need to know, to be honest with you. But I'm curious about that.
I was just going to say, we don't know if his previous dating experiences, his more recent ones prior to coming on the show with these non-black women, made him change his mind and go back to dating black women. We don't know, because he knows he was coming on the show. He knows that usually it's going to be black women to choose from in the process, black women to date in the process. So we don't know if he was turned off by something when he dated outside and decided to revert back, because that wasn't something that he even got the chance to explain. Because again, it would seem like an ambush. But I agree with some of what Lorraine said. If someone has a preference, that's their preference. He didn't even state that it was his preference. So I think what we're kind of doing here is he said his position, and we're critiquing, or Khadian and her friend were critiquing his position and coming up with their own assumptions as fact. Like, if you ask someone a question, they can only give you the answer based on their own experience and perception, right? And he's the horse's mouth in this situation. So you have to give him the chance to explain his position and listen, right? And then that can create a conversation or dialogue, and hopefully the date would have gone better if that had happened. But no, it seemed like they made their opinions, made their minds up, and were set on, oh, you haven't dated black women before, and that's a red flag because what are you doing here? And it kind of went off on a little. It went left. It went off on a tangent pretty much. So yeah, for me, I think that he didn't really get the chance to salvage any positivity from that date. And when it's beyond salvageable, at that point you got to leave before it gets worse and you start digging a bigger hole, right?
Well, I mean, granted, nobody was yelling and shouting at him, so that means that he could have also sat in it and explained himself a little bit better too. But he chose to say, I'm not hungry, and walk away from the conversation. So if you want to explain yourself, sometimes you still have to remain calm and just say, hey, look, if you guys want to hear me out, this is what it is. If you're not trying to hear me, let's dead this discussion. That's just that simple. Like, just sit in it. But when you walk away, then they're left with their assumptions.
Right. I get that. But the thing is, when he was there, they didn't give him the opportunity to really, everything he said, he was on basically being attacked about. And in a dating environment, it's not conducive to bringing you closer together and allowing you to get to know each other more. So, and he did remain calm. He didn't flip out like Zoe. He didn't, he wasn't abrupt. He wasn't even combative like Justice to a degree. He sat there. It put him off his food, and he blatantly didn't want to be there anymore, because that line of questioning, like I said, imagine going on a date with someone and then they focus on one thing and it spirals, and it, like I said, it's not even like you can recover from that particular experience at that time. And he probably was heated. That's why he rang Shareese after the date, to vent about what happened. But I'm sure we'll touch on that later. But it was an experience where he felt the date was going well at any point. Otherwise, he probably would have sat there. But it was beyond repair at that point. Broken down. Communication broke down.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that they were talking about this is what we do. When she said, "Hey, I need you to ask him questions. I need you to grill him," And he's talking about, oh, you didn't mean do what we do, and then they did a combo move on him. And if that's the case, that's what you guys do to men, annihilate them like that. That could be the reason why you're on the show. That could be the reason why you're single. But I'm just saying it could be. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying like the way that they combined, they did like it was a routine. Like they knew exactly what they were doing, one after the other, one after the other. So I found that interesting.
I mean, I'm hearing you guys. The jury's still out for me. The jury's still out for me. I'm all down for experimenting. I'm all down for opening yourself up to different experiences. I just don't think you need to call it. I don't have a preference. You know what I mean? That just sounds like a cover up to me. Listen, hey, he's dating Caden now, so. I'm not going to say that proves anything, because to be honest, we've got gay people in straight relationships. So people will do anything to show that people that they chose different. You know what I mean? And again, it's not even about the women that he chose the last 3 years. I just think to myself, I think Jay as well, I think he could have explained himself a little bit more. He could have said, hey, look, I don't want it to look like any particular way. I've chosen to date outside my race right now because I want to enjoy a little bit. I want to see different sights and things, and that's it. I've dated black women because it felt like he didn't get to answer that. The thing that he said about black women was that yes, my child is black, and my mum is black, and it was like, yeah, bro, white folks say the exact same thing. Okay, all right.
Maybe 1 ounce of black in you, you're black. So I mean, 1% black, you're black. So I don't know what that means.
That's true. Exactly. How do you class up? You don't even know. So I would just wish that he had stayed a little bit long just to explain himself a little bit. It could be editing as well, but I just wish he would have explained himself a little bit more just to get that piece, because clearly they had an angle. The Khadian and her friend had an angle. They wanted to nail him with that angle, which was you don't date black women, and in some regard they're not lying. I don't like the way they went about it, but in some case they're not lying, because you admitted that you ain't dated no one except for last week. And then I think what confused me, I don't know if it was because I saw the end with Khadian and what she said, but I think she was saying that but then I saw in a clip with him and Khadian and a friend, he said he's been serial dating with non-black women, but it sounded like Khadian, I think, mentioned in the end that he's been intentionally trying to date in the last 3 years. So therefore he's been dating non-PC women, POC women, intentionally. So he's like, your dating is not serial as in light. Your dating is in serious trying to date people in the last 3 years. So that means you looking for these women. You looking for non-POC women. I think that's why Khadian was trying to get that squeeze out of him. I wish he didn't say that. In that sense, someone said Latin's POC. Yeah, I mean they are, but I think you know what I mean when I say POC. You know what I mean? Like when I say that, I mean specifically black women. I'm using a very political term because that's what it's in. But
what I feel like would have been smart on his move, if you're not race specific or ethnic specific on who you date. When they asked what's your type, I would have been like, I like thick thighs, I like big booty, I like a curvy, draw aesthetics. Don't go to automatic, I don't have a type, or, I don't date this race or whatever. Then it leaves it open to say, if she's on these curves, if she's on this statue, I'm going to date her. If she presents herself in this manner, I'm going to date her. I don't care what race she is. That'll leave you more in a better position to say, oh, okay, you looking for literally certain aesthetics, not specifically a race. And then they can't judge you as much as, I don't have no type. And then, okay, well, good. Let's go here. Why are you only dating this then? He set himself up for it in a way too, so.
I hear you. Go for it, Joe, yeah?
Also, let's not forget, he did actually compliment Khadian when she asked, so what do you think of her? What do you think of my friend? What do you think of Khadian? And he said, man, look at her. She's nice. She's aesthetically pleasing to him. Like, she looks very nice, right? And that got swept under the rug. And that's the whole point of their date. The fact that he finds her attractive, she finds him attractive to a degree. So now they're trying to, introduced to the friend and get the friend's approval, so to speak. But again, the friend wasn't there to give approval. The friend was there to annihilate and say the things that Khadian didn't want to say, because she knew that it would be detrimental to their relationship, their budding relationship, if she had said that herself and just came out and attacked him, like we've seen she's very capable of doing. So yeah, I don't think there's any easy way around it. If he had snapped, then he would be aggressive and angry and da 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 da. And we've seen how that pans out. He sat there for a while. When he saw it wasn't going his way, he made his excuses and left. And yeah, I'd be interested to see how Khadian smoothed that one over, because it was almost like a betrayal in a way. I know it's very early in their communication. It's very early and they're still getting to know each other, but still, if someone shares something with you, you shouldn't really try and bring it up and try and assassinate them afterwards. I didn't like that part.
I just want to say something to Shayla Wolf's comment. She said something about, he said Khadian is his type, and that proves that's a lie. Well, not to put all Latino women in the box, but a lot of them are spicy. Khadian is spicy too, so that's probably right up his alley. So that probably is his type on that part. So, I beg to differ just a little on that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. I'm with you, you know what I mean?
I don't see that.
All about the roles.
I don't see that. I don't see that. What's his name? Swayze. I don't see that Swayze even into her really. But to me, it just says something when you're a man. You can't articulate your feelings for someone. You can't tell someone what you like about someone. That's your time to shine. What do you like about my friend? You can't say anything worth a grain of salt. So to me, I don't think he's really into it, or he doesn't know how to use his words, which is also could be an issue. Like you're saying, he's young. I know we say he's young before, but he's 33. He chose to be on the show. So I would think he would come with some type of maturity in the dating arena if he's coming on the show to really find love. So to me, I just feel like he's missing some points for me. I think I'm not gonna say that, but he's missing some points for me.
I hear you. This is from Sandra S. Sandrea is, when I preferred to date other in my early 20s, I only hung out with and went to places where they were. Now that I prefer to date black, I only go to places where black men are intent. Just be honest. Fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, only going to where the black men are. I hear you too. Me too. I'm only going where the tiger marks are. Okay, guys, show me some tiger marks. I want to see that. I want to see that as well. Okay, tiger marks, lion marks, jaguar marks. I want to see it all. Okay, all right. I've got no problems with that at all. Give me some of that. All right. Let's talk a little bit about obviously the end scene with Shareese and Khadian as well. Like I said, it's a short one tonight, so we'll just focus on this one and probably another one as well. Shareese and Khadian obviously had a conversation, and I just want to see if I can get the clip up, which is annoying if I can't. There we go. Okay.
Ching, she met Swayze. They were just really combative.
Combative?
Yes.
Really? About what?
Okay, until we talk about it, I am not going to speak on it. So
I don't know what we're talking about.
About my red flag, my only red flag with.
I wish I could show the whole clip, but it's not allowing me to. But yeah, obviously Shareese says something. I'm going to try and get up on my screen. But yeah, Shareese obviously then says, her piece about the situation, where she gets involved. And she obviously says, that there was more to the story concerning, Shareese, not Shareese, about Khadian and Swayze at the table, and she actually says that Swayze confided in her, which is interesting. I'm finding it interesting, number one, that Swayze is confiding in her, because clearly he did, because she reiterated exactly what was said, so that's not a lie, okay? But Swayze confided in Shareese. Why? I'm so confused as to why that was the place he went to confess. I don't know if that's to do with the fact that he's got the mummy issues thing and likes women that are older. He really likes to. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply. I don't know. But it's just interesting to see that it was a Shareese situation. Go for it, Jay.
But what I said last week, when we explode, we explode. When petty people do stuff, this is what you get. When petty people argue, this is what you get. That was a petty move on his part to go and tell Shareese. I already know that Khadian has been telling him that they've been beefing, that they don't have problems. Because we know Khadian going to tell everything that is going on in life. So I already know that he knows this. So out of all people that you go and talk to, now unless the rest of the ladies have said, oh yeah, he talked to us too, and he was just venting to all of us, then that was a strategic move. You did that on purpose to get under her skin. Because you know daggone well she gonna say what it is just to get back at Khadian for jumping in that Zoe stuff. So low key, I'm not even mad at Shareese. Shareese is holding a gun, loaded gun, like shoot, I'm about to pay you back for last week. Last time we had this conversation, this is what it is. This is right here. This is what you're gonna give me. I'm about to give it back to you. I'm glad your dude gave me the ammo. Appreciate him. Now you need to go handle that with him. Now that's all Shareese is doing, is stirring that pot. Like, okay, now I'm gonna give you a little something to argue with him about. Not only did he tell me what y'all arguing about, it's me that he told. So there's a bunch of petty people, and I kind of like it. I'm kind of here for the petty. I'm sorry, because I ain't been petty in a while, so it's kind of entertaining for me or whatnot. But in my petty days, this is something I would have did. Oh, you want to play these games with you and your friend? Oh, guess what? Okay. I'm about to tell your arch enemy all this stuff right here. Have at it. And low key, that's what she gets. You got to learn to keep your mouth closed. If you don't want to have this talk with everybody, shouldn't be telling. I don't care if they're your closest friends. Sometimes your close friends don't need to know what's going on in your bedroom. They don't need to know all that because they start making judgments and stuff about the dude that you're dealing with. And then next thing you know, you still with this dude. And your friends don't like him. Sorry, not sorry.
She ain't sorry. But I hear you. Straight up. What you saying, JL? Hold on, wait, before you go, let me see if I can play the clip.
What is something about he only dates Latino women, but his daughter's black.
Okay,
his daughter's mom
pause.
is black. When Swayze called me, he was very...
Shareese knew what she was doing. JL, what you saying?
Man, I think it was an exact copy of what Khadian did to Shareese with Zoe. And it was payback time. And Shareese gave her receipt, you know. Exactly the same situation. One of them gets heated with a guy, and then that guy goes and confides in the other. And then what happens is, when it comes to deliberation, one of them trying to keep a lid on it or not disclose everything, and then so sorry, distracted by the chat. When Shareese gleefully and delightfully it enlightened everyone on the situation that went down, Khadian tried to shut it down straight away. Because she is the type of person that doesn't like the smoke that she gives to other people, right? She's very offensive. She likes to be on the attack a lot, but gets very defensive when the same stuff is done to her. And that's a problem, right? So, I think Shareese just paid her back in full. Just disclose everything. Because when Tommy was asking her, Tommy was expecting her to kind of give some feedback that, you know, how did the date go? Like, at least give me something. Don't just say, oh, well, I'm going to speak about it with him before I disclose it to everybody else. No, we're in the deliberation now. I need to know, it's decision time now. It's not on your time. It's like everybody's come together now. So put it out there. What was your date like? So yeah, Shareese gave her a helping hand, and I don't see anything wrong with it, and I'm not surprised by it either, because they're both very similar. They both throw stones and hide their hands, as you say, or they live in glass houses and throw stones. So, and they're very critical and very judgmental. So, yeah, I wasn't surprised that Shareese had that waiting for her. She was probably biding her time since the Zoe incident and just said, yeah, you know what? Whap, take that. That's what you need. That's what you need. You're going to get it now, because that's how you made me feel. Remember, one of the things that we hear a lot is, I'm going to make you feel how you made me feel when they get hurt, right? So I'm not surprised at all. I'm quite glad that happened, because again, Khadian is so used to putting the pressure on people, and having some back, it's a good way to I won't say humble her, but I would say it's a great way to show her how it feels when someone does that to you.
Appreciate that, JR. And just, do you know what? It just came to me. I just remembered that Khadian pulled up Shareese for the Zoe situation, isn't it? She the same card was pulled, so I guess this is Shareese's way of getting her back without actually getting her back. So I hear what you're saying as well. All right, Corey, go for it, bro.
Oh. You call me the wrong time. It's so messed up, man. You caught me in the wrong time. All right. Tell me what y'all talking about.
We'll be waxing your balls. But no, we're talking about I'll play the clip so you can actually see it. So you can have a little look, bro. Sorry, my bad.
That his trust had been broken. I was shocked too. I was like, was she drinking? He was like, of course. Maybe when she drinks, she gets a little catty. I don't know her like that, so
we're talking obviously about the fact that obviously Swayze confided in Shareese. Wanted to get your thoughts on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. To me, I think something's wrong with that. You know, there's definitely I won't say it's a flag. I think that he knew that Shareese would come out and say this. He knew that. I think he's done, to be honest with you, because that's a move you make when you're done. Because certain things you can come back from, certain things you can't come back from. But talking about someone that you're interested in behind their back is a big no-no. You know, it's just the same way you're in a relationship. You found out that your partner is talking about you behind your back. You got to leave that. They're not with you. They're not for you. So I think he did that on purpose. I don't think it was anything he was looking for by telling Shareese. I don't think he was looking for some heartfelt advice or anything like that. He just knew who to tell to get it back to her that he said something. So it was all part of the plan. He's done with her. I'm sorry.
Hey, go for it, Jay. You want to say something? Oh, no? I thought you wanted to say something. My bad.
No, I was telling Corey, I was like that. He knew what he was doing. That was a part of his plan. And I don't know if he's done with her, because sometimes, you know, we be in states where we like toxic stuff and we keep going back for a while. So I think he likes the toxicity of it all right now. He's lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I do think like with Swayze, I think the reason why maybe he likes Khadian is because I think the way he reacts to certain things, I think Khadian's the only one that probably can handle him as well. Maybe she, you know, see how like she handled that situation when he blew up. Then she was like, "You blown up? All right, cool. We'll talk later." Like she just literally just handled it that way. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that's what he needs. You know, that's what he likes. Somebody who's going to be able to just be like, "It's cool." Whereas other people might have been. Maybe someone might have been too swoony, or maybe someone would have made it a bigger argument than it actually is. Yeah, so maybe that was also part of it as well. So I don't know. That may be a big part of why he may be liking Khadian as well. There's some other extra parts, you know. So yeah, he likes a bit of the tasty. I think he just likes a bit of spiciness, you know.
You know, sometimes certain relationships we get into is a pattern of childhood. We've seen certain things in our childhood, or certain ways that we started dating early, and we think that's love. And that could just be a part of his love pattern. Like, you know, you date people that you blow up and get into arguments and stuff, and you just are cool with it because you think, oh, as long as they're arguing with me, it's love. As long as we resolve it, it's love. until you actually find somebody that's not going to do it, but they're giving you everything else. And then you start to realize love is a lot easier than fighting all the time. So it might take some time to mature into what really is love for me, for him and her.
I hear you. I hear you on that. I hear you on that. Okay, cool. No, I hear that. We'll look at one more scene before we pop off tonight. I wanna. No, let's look at definitely this one will definitely need to come up because this one was obviously interesting as well.
I think he's genuine. Yeah. I think he's into you, and I think he's worth.
From 100 miles away, I cannot tolerate it. And he tries to utilize spirituality as a vehicle to a woman's
And
heart.
that I don't like.
He is not a nice person. I feel it in my entire being.
Yo, my girl said, I feel it in my entire being. She said, I know he ain't a nice person. I feel it in my entire... When somebody says that, it's a strong case. It's a strong case that they're not feeling you. So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that date with Justice, you know, and the way that he was behaving, because he was behaving in a particular way, which was quite interesting as well. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a bit weird as well. So, who wants to go first? Who wants to tackle that particular issue, eh? Justice and Justice not being liked. T'Challa, you want to go first?
Yes. All right. So, man, she obviously felt the spirit in her as well, just like Justice did in that date, right? I think she has a right to be concerned because Justice throughout all the episodes we've seen is seen quite vacant, right? Seems not to be interested in approaching the dating game in the way that most people do. He's expecting to be chased or at least have a signal of intent from one of the women before he decides whether he's going to pursue her back. And that's not going to float very well with a lot of people, a lot of women. So I think it's very key that her friend identified this about him, because for some reason, Trinika seems to have gravitated towards him. And man, I obviously she knows why that is, but and Looney as well. I don't know what it is about him, why they've chosen him over the others, but he has said himself that he's not even a telephone person, so you can't just ring him up and speak to him most of the time. He doesn't make time for that. And when he started quoting, he didn't even give the explanation as to what the Bible verse he was quoting actually means. So he didn't even give any context to it, just threw out the verse. And that, I think, irked them as well, because, man, he's like Marmite. In fact, he's worse than Marmite, because not many people even like him like that. So, yeah, I thought it was very telling that they identified problems in him on the first time meeting him, whereas Trinika has kind of warmed up to him more as the season has gone on. So, yeah, that's what I took from that particular scene.
Yeah, I have to say, like, with friends like this, you know what I'm saying, it's hard to go wrong. I love her friends. I love the discernment, especially on the one in the yellow. It's like we've been peeping his stuff since he came on this scene day one, and it was just kind of weird that none of the other ladies, I was like, are you guys all acting right now? Like, you really like this man? Are you serious, guys? Like, for real? But, you know, sometimes we do get blinded by what we are attracted to, and we ignore a lot of red flags because of it. And I like her friends, and I like Kayla's friends or whatever, because those are the friends that you have in your corner that keep it real with you enough, but don't break you or hurt your feelings in the process. It's just like, no, let me just tell you what it really is, sis. And you could trust those people they got your best interest in their heart. So I really appreciated these particular friends on this episode. And I don't know if we get into it, but even with Kayla crying in that moment, and it wasn't crying over the guys, it was more so of the realization of, you're right. I'm in my own way. I'm my own fault. And I keep running into the wall because of myself. And I've had these cries. I know you guys probably seen me have these cries when you just realize I am the problem. And sometimes it takes your friends, sometimes it takes a moment to sit down and just sit there and say, what the heck is going on? What am I doing wrong or whatnot? And I'm just glad that at some point, Trinika kind of listened to her friends and not just be blinded by the lust of this person, but actually start to see the real. It's like, you know what? Sometimes when your friends say something, let me sit back and just really look at that person. You know what? You guys are right. And you got to know what friends you have in your corner for that too. Because some people are just hating just because they're single and alone. And some people really do have your back. And that person, that lady in the yellow, for real, the way that the disgust on her face was when she said what she said, I was like, oh no, she means what she's saying. She does not see it for justice at all. And she does not want that man around her friend at all. And I'm like, sis, you might lose a friend if you choose this man. So look, be careful. Be careful, because she might have to separate it. Sometimes you got to separate yourself from your friend if they want to keep dealing with stupidness. I don't want to be around it. I'll be here when you're done. And I'm glad Trinika just listened or whatnot. So, if you guys got friends like this in your corner, keep them. That's a good friend.
Real stuff. Lorraine, what's your thoughts to justice not being liked? I'll play a clip so you can get acquainted again and see what they were saying. Just a bit of justice, what justice was saying here.
Love, you come up right up my alleyway. I am the alleyway.
Have you ever been disloyal in a relationship?
Of course. Yeah, I've had moments when I was disloyal. I mean, played professional basketball, so I was kind of all over the world. I lived that life.
The friends said they didn't like him. They said, I feel it in my bones that I don't like him. What's your thoughts on Justice Date with Trinika?
I mean, the fact that he quoted one of my favorite verses, I was so upset. I was like, you gonna quote 29:11 to say that? Like, no, come on now, Justice. I was really, really offended by that. I really appreciated not only their discernment, but their brutal honesty. Because sometimes in that moment, is some friends they'll be honest with you, but they'll kind of sugarcoat it because they don't want to hurt your feelings. That's kind of your prospect, someone that you were dating, that you like him and all that kind of stuff. So they'll kind of like dance around the topic, but they were like, no, we don't see it for him. He's no good. All these things that they were just saying and that we knew from jump, but they literally had to cut it deep so she would understand. I think that if they had said it any other way, she might have been wishy-washy, thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe this, that, and the other. So I really appreciated that. I also think that they might just know their friend, and they probably knew that they had to be that brutally honest and be that harsh, because she does come across as quite what's the word? Naive. She does come across quite naive, and I'm not saying that she is, but she comes across quite naive, and maybe she's sort of dealt with similar guys in the past, and maybe she's being pushed over in the past. Probably likes that kind of treat them mean, keep them keen kind of thing. So I think they kind of thought, no, we're not doing this again. we're not about to be hearing about this man on the phone, and how he did this. And no. So they had to shut it down before there were any kind of emotions that were kind of involved there. He's he didn't do himself any favors. Like he was just like, yeah, I've cheated. You know, I don't see anything. I don't look to the future. I don't plan. I'm just like, I don't really understand here. Like I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to say like you go with the flow kind of thing, and I get it, but it just seems very like you haven't even thought about it. Like you didn't even think about your response. You don't even care, literally. So I really, really appreciated their honesty, their discernment, but their brutal honesty, because sometimes you need your friends to tell you the truth. Like, no, we're not doing this. So, yeah.
Yeah, you know, Justice comes across to me as the type of guy that a lot of women do go for. And because a lot of women go for him, he's able to have this type of behavior. He's able to do these type of things without having to answer anyone because he gets a lot of attention. So the women were correct. Her friends were correct in their assessment as far as saying he's a joker. I agree with that. However, some of the questions I didn't agree with, to be honest with you. It's not them as people. It was just the questions. Like I'm not a fan of friends asking questions like, what are your plans in 5 years? What's your 5-year plan? I'm not dating you. You're the friend. The woman who I'm dating should be asking me this question. And then don't make it so surface, because after that question is being asked, I hear it all often. What's your 5-year plan? Okay, the 5-year plan is, okay, I want to be this in 5 years. Okay, what are your plans to get there? How do you plan to get there? Now that's someone that is dating you should be asking you those questions. Not just what's your plan? What is your plan to get there? So it should be more to go to follow that question in my opinion. But I don't think that's for friends to ask. I think that when you're introducing someone to a friend, it's my personal opinion, that you are supposed to be normal, act accordingly, as you would if you guys were all hanging out, and then they get to pick up on a vibe from that, and then that's it. But sitting down and having to question someone and grill someone, I've never been for that. I'll never be about that. So for me, on this particular topic, I'm just against that. I think I've said it on previous shows, too, previous seasons, but yeah, I'm against that.
All right, Cara. I want to ask a question. I'll go for it, Jay. Go for it. Go.
No, I'm just going because I know Corey, but it's like sometimes some of these people need those people to ask those questions because they just don't ask the questions themselves. If they do it in a polite way, Corey, come on now.
But it wasn't a polite way because they was asking like these relationship type questions back to back.
He just seen it back to back. They be waiting for hours.
Have you ever cheated on your woman before? What does that have to do with you? I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, ask me that from a woman who's interested in me. I take it better that way. It's just me.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that one, but yeah.
Yeah, you get all in the business. Now we have a problem.
Too funny. Question, obviously, moving to the panelists, if you haven't asked already. What the heck has Trinika seen in Justice? Someone said in the chat as well, like she looked like she was disappointed, and she did look disappointed. She looked hella disappointed, especially after last week. She done said already, on Justice, I understand you. Like, what I think is happening is people don't understand you, but I understand you. I, Trinika the third, understand you. And so I want to know why you think Trinika was feeling Justice so much, since Justice doesn't pursue any woman, since Justice is not calling any woman, you don't even have their numbers. So, I want to know what the heck Trinika saw, and also Looney was also moving mad as well because she saw something in Justice, and yet he ain't pursuing nobody, apparently. I'm trying to understand what hell's going on. There's a lot of stuff that don't really make sense. Yeah. JR, you're ready for me. Go for it.
Interesting you brought up Looney, because when LJ and Looney were talking, just a side note, LJ said, I've been calling you and I'm not getting the calls back. This is the same guy that was checking for her when she had the COVID, right? And that when she came back, they had that whole, enjoyable date, first time meeting each other. But her response to LJ on this episode was, I don't do phones. I'm not a phone person. That's what Looney said to LJ, right? and Looney's attracted to Justice. So maybe she sees something, some similarity to a degree in him. But Trinika, I think the thing about Justice is, to some of the women, especially, we noticed it in the first episode, but they like the way he looks and they like his style. There's something visually, like something aesthetic about him that has them more than curious about who he is. But obviously, when he opens his mouth and starts talking, it turns them off straight away. So that's where I think Trinika's going wrong. I think, in my opinion, I think she is attracted to the visual, and she probably can envision being with somebody with that style, that swag, that his look, like being with a guy like that. But the disappointment is that he's probably not the best thing for her, and I think that's a common mistake that occurs in the dating environment, not just these days, but it's always happened. I think from the beginning of time, sometimes you like certain aspects about someone, and like we've said earlier on tonight, right? You ignore the red flags, or you try and ignore the things that are a real problem. And with Justice, he seems to be, particularly in that date, it was like he was just so frank but nonchalant at the same time. Like he didn't really care about the fact that he's trying to build the connection with Trinika on the date. That was the goal. That was the purpose. He just seemed to want to respond to the questions. Next. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that was my life. I said that. So there's something about his unavailability as well that I think makes Trinika want to be intrigued. Because if he was like Randall, for example, who's got loads of connections, there are some corners of the viewership, that think that Randall is for the streets because he literally has connections with so many. But I think Justice has maintained a level of exclusivity, whether intentional or not. I definitely don't think it's intentional, but I think that may be an allure, an appeal for Trinika as well. So his swag and the fact that he is unavailable to a lot of them and will only focus on the one that he has a connection with, that may be the appeal. That's the only thing I can logically come to.
Solid. Lorraine, what's your thoughts? Why do you think Trinika likes our boy Justice?
Yeah, I agree with what JR is saying. I think when you're younger, especially below 25, you kind of are superficial. I can speak from experience. You're looking for someone who looks a certain way, dresses a certain way, possesses certain things. Now, I'm not saying that she's just superficial, but I can't see anything else within Justice, given what we've just seen and the edit or whatever, besides his looks and the way that he carries himself, and the way that he dresses. So I think that is what she's looking at. It might be that she probably hasn't had the best of luck within certain men, I think, that she finds attractive, or the men that she wants to be with. So the fact that she's kind of faced with Justice, who he's not really showing interest, but he's kind of passive with the whole situation. She's kind of like intrigued. This is now my opportunity to date someone like. This is now my opportunity to be with someone who's like this, who's like that. I'm not saying that she hasn't. This is just me making assumptions and just theorizing as to why she was so invested in him. I found it really strange when she was like, the other ladies, they're saying this, but me, I completely get you, and I completely understand you, because they have different energies. So if they had like similar energies, I would understand that, they're similar, so she can see where he's coming from in his perspective. But they're completely completely different. So it was like she was seeking his approval, seeking his validation, to say, you know, I like you, you know, she's not, I'm not saying she's a pick me, but she was like, you can choose me, you can pick me because I like you. So validate me in some kind of way. So I don't know why she's seeking validation from that kind of man. And it also might be part of her dating history. Maybe she goes for emotionally unavailable men, because that's what Justice is. He's emotionally unavailable, 100%. So maybe she goes for those kind of men, and that will say a lot about her in terms of where she's at in her life and what she needs to kind of work on and deal with, so that she can go with someone who is available.
Okay, yeah. So for me, I think it really boils down to the line of questioning. I think that the other women have been asking questions more about what can I look forward to if you're dating me? You know, what kind of dates will we go on? What kind of experience am I going to have if I decide to date you? And I think the conversations with Trinika is more geared towards life. So, how's your day going? Tell me about your event planning business. Tell me about you as a person. Along those lines, and not so much about how he's going to woo her or whatever the case is. And I think because that effort is missing, she's not seeing what everyone else is seeing. So I don't think she's been around. If I think back when they're in the group setting and when he was with Kayla and was saying X, Y, and Z, I don't think she was around in that group either. But I have to give him credit because Justice knows that the way he thinks is outside of the norm, is outside of the box. So you have to ask him things directly for him to say something. He can be in a group setting, everyone's having a discussion, he will sit back and be quiet because he knows the way he thinks is different. So, and it's not going to be very accepting. He's a very self-assured guy. He's a very confident guy. And a lot of women love that. But unfortunately, in his case, he's the only one that's assured. No one else is assured but him. So that's making it difficult for him to make those other connections. But I think with her, it's just a line of questioning. She's more on the tell me about who you are as a person. What do you like to do? You know, things that interest you type of conversation. Not so much about the what am I going to experience with being with you. So that's my 2 cents on that.
I'll just say we really won't know until these ladies tell us what they've seen up in this man. You know, I'll just go with the fact that we all have like character flaws, and with those character flaws, we tend to be attracted to certain things in people. Some of us are unattainable people. Some of us are emotionally unavailable. Some of us like homosexuals. Some of us just like a whole fixer-up project or whatever. I just feel like they're attracted to emotional unavailable men or people that are unattainable to them. And it seems like a challenge. And instead of going for something that is easy, which would probably be LJ or whatever, much like in the case for Justice, he's going for Shareese because she's the one who said that she's been on the phone with him when he don't talk to nobody else on the phone. Everybody's having trouble on the phone. She's having a conversation. Why? Because she ignored him. So that's his challenge. Just like these women, their justice is their challenge or whatever. So let me go for that. And it's a character flaw that we kind of all have. We tend to do this a lot of times in dating until we finally say, you know what, let me go for what's going for me. You know, let me start talking to what wants to talk to me. We do this. And that's kind of like what Samson was saying in the beginning when he made that point. I'm not going to keep chasing after women that's not chasing after me. We got to have same interests. He's finally learned, let me stop doing this. Let me stop going down this road with people or whatnot. They haven't learned this yet. And that's just what I'm seeing right now. I could be wrong, but we tend to do this in dating a lot. Go after people that we know is just not right for us for whatever reason or not. So until these women decide to tell us why they into justice, I'm just going to chalk it up to then at all with his figure or something, I guess. I don't know. I'm over it. Glad he's gone.
Hey, Coach, can we talk about Randall for a hot second, man? Can we talk about why Randall doesn't own any adult clothes? Can we talk about that? Because I'm tired of seeing him with shorts and a t-shirt on every episode, every interaction with every woman. It's the same thing.
He was the best dressed at the. He's the best dressed at the. He's gonna be the best dressed at the reunion. I'll say that much.
Talk about him. Well, if he comes with some shorts on, I'm gonna be done.
No, he not with no shorts on. He actually got the longest pants on, Corey, with socks.
Oh, with the socks. Okay. Pulled up.
Who's your daddy shorts?
Man, listen.
They some hoochie daddy leggings pants, but no just
he got the 1960s 70s basketball shorts on, boy.
Man, I'm telling you, this is the thing. Like, no one has picked up on that. Like, if you're dating this man, he got the height, so you overlook certain things. You're attracted to someone, certain things you overlook. But just on being on the outside, I've noticed that this is all that's in this man's closet so far is shorts, tank tops, t-shirts, polos, short sleeves, and that's it. I don't know what's on his feet, but it to me it's just it's a bit sad. I need someone to call that out, because you want to see your man dress as a man. You want to see that he has levels to him. Sure, you can be casual. Sure, it's okay to wear shorts and a t-shirt. There's nothing wrong with that. But on every occasion, it sparks up on me if I saw that in a woman, that she wears the same thing every single day. So, just want to call it out. Let's
leave Randall alone. We'll deal with Randall on another day because it's meant to be a short panel. So it's a short panel today. I ain't mean to make a pun about short, but we're going to just deal specifically with justice and dealing with the Khadian and Shareese situation. So we'll have to hold off on the Randall stuff because we'll be back on Monday to do another live. Sorry, because it's meant to be a short one today. But any more thoughts on Justice, Tranika, LJ situation? Because it was involving LJ as well. So you can talk about LJ situation with Tranika as well within that remit. Any more thoughts on that? LJ, Justice, yes, go for it, Joe.
So I think obviously there's a different selection of personalities on the show, right? And LJ seems to be the opposite of Justice, right? I'm not sure if the ladies can like both of them at the same time, because LJ is the type of guy to be calling and, comes across as more romantic and thoughtful about the person he's in front of, the girl he's in front of, right? And Justice seems to be kind of the opposite. But the thing is, Justice is a strong character. Doesn't waver. Even when Tommy sat down with him and said, look, you need to change your tactics and you need to approach the women and you need to do... He heard it, but what did he say afterwards? He was like, yeah, well, I'm going to still keep doing my process inside the process, right? So he's not willing to waver on anything. He is who he is, and I think he's trying to say, like it or don't like it, see, I'm calm, I'm easy. And I think that's why he took the fact that he was going home so nonchalant. He was like, cool, man, maybe my person's not here. He didn't even go into that, but that was the energy he gave off. He was like, cool, I'm not here no more. Fine, not a problem with me. Whereas I think LJ being in the bottom for at least 2 occasions that I can remember, the romantic calling and singing and harmonizing or whatever he's trying to do, that isn't really coming across either. It doesn't really get the traction that I think most people think it should get, right? Because everybody calls out Justice, the Zoes, the Mikes, for being, for their flaws of being, quite rigid and standoffish. But LJ is the opposite. But he still ended up in the bottom. So for me, when you've got both of them in a dating situation at the table, like Tranika had, I think, LJ seems to be the right person for her. But is the attraction there physically, and does he have the swag? maybe not. Like some people are saying that LJ has no swag, and that's his problem. He's a nice guy, but he's got no gumption, no oomph. And so yeah, I think LJ probably would come out better if the ladies are thinking, who am I going to be best with? Who am I going to match well with? But I think the looking at the swag and the resources and the good looks that Justice may have may be more of a appeal. So yeah, I think that it's unfortunate, but it's like what most people are coming to the conclusion of, right? You overlook the thing that's best for you and or probably better for you, which is also why Kayla was crying, you know, because she probably had that admission, like Jay was saying, like you overlook what's good for you because of what you feel like you actually want, but what you want may not be best for you at the end of the day.
That's a bar. That's a bar. Okay, before anyone adds, just a quick interlude and reset the room for you guys. All right, welcome. Okay, welcome to now, jokes. But just quick, obviously, so just again, listen, guys. We, if you're loving what we're doing here, make sure first of all you're liking, you're sharing, you are subscribing to this channel. Okay, make sure you're all connected with the family. Okay, first and foremost. Second thing, also as well, guys. Listen, we're gonna be bringing this type of conversations to you in the Americas. Yeah, we're coming to where you guys are. So, we'll be doing a live panel in New York, Atlanta, and DC. Again, DC tickets are being worked on. Again, I'm working on that for you guys. Okay, because it's gonna be a little bit special, so I have to kind of take a bit of time with that. But working on it. We've got the ATL and New York tickets out as well. So if you haven't grabbed yours, I know some of you are really black. You are really black. You with your timing. You like to leave things a little bit last minute. But listen, last minute the things will be gone. So as Caribbean Girls put in there as well, really appreciate you as well, Caribbean Girl, for putting it in there. Let's put the link in there for the actual tickets. Grab your tickets, people. Okay, all right. Grab your tickets because when it's gone, it's gone. All right, okay. All right, and none of you are close enough to even think about dropping that message to me like, Coach, can you? I won't know who you are. You'll be in the requests, okay? You'll be in the requests, okay? So come on, grab your ticket early. Don't play with me, you know what I mean? So we'll get that made for you guys as well. All right. Leah knows best. ATL has already been ATL one. I can drop that for you guys, but New York we'll drop that a little bit later for you guys as well. All right, we want it in a safe area, so don't worry. Listen, I don't want to be in any area that's crazy, so don't worry about that too. Okay, your hood is different from my hood in London. In London, we can get away with it. Your area, boy, the stories I'm hearing, okay, we're being bougie here. I'm not gonna lie to you because the stories I hear about you lot's a hood. Your hood is not our hood, okay? We can walk through our hood at least, but it sounds like yours a bit crazy. But yeah, again, listen, make sure you grab your tickets. You know what's so funny? Somebody sent me a video about ATL, places not to stay, and some guy was breaking down tourists. People who are tourists do not come to these areas in ATL. He weren't playing. Some of you lot are crazy. So anyway, listen, make sure you grab your tickets as well. Who the frick is Lisa? Lisa, we haven't got time for your nonsense. Straight block. Someone said, what's up, blacks? I haven't got time. You're straight blocked. I don't care if you're joking or not. It's too late. But listen, grab your tickets because really, really appreciate you guys as well. And we want to see you guys live as well. All right? Okay? All right? We'll see you guys. All right, back to the show. The question I'm asking right now is, and this is going to be the last question of the night, by the way. So answer in full and in full. Okay? For obviously, LJ, are the women missing a trick with LJ? Why is LJ being overlooked? That's the question I'm asking. Is it because he's too? Is it because he's too nice? Is he being disingenuous? Are the ladies traumatized and going only for bad boys? Something is up. I want to know what it is exactly that that people are seeing in terms of LJ. Or, what are we looking at here? What's the problem with LJ? Corey, go for it. Yes.
All right. So I'm convinced that it has to do with the fact that LJ does not really display a lot of masculine energy that women would be attracted to. First, you have no swag. I'm sorry, you don't have any swag. Second, you wear dangling earrings. So to me, I think this combination puts him in a position not to win. And if I had a chance to put LJ to the side, I would tell him, brother, never wear that dangling earring again. And to kind of spice it up a little bit because he is giving off friend vibe because he doesn't have that energy. He doesn't have the hey, I'm your man, I can take care of you, I got your back, whatever the case is. He's not giving you that. He's giving a hey, you come talk to me if you got any problems. And that's not what a woman's really going to be like initially attracted to. So, and that's just my opinion on that. I think I answered your question, Kojo, but I did want to add one thing you wanted to, since my last time speaking. I want to get my prediction for next week. Who's going to go home? I think that it's going to be Trinika and Khadian. Just going to be at the bottom two. I think Trinika's going home next week. That's just me. I'm done.
Appreciate that as well. Yep. So I just put it onto subscriber mode. I don't know what the racist bots are out like on a frenzy.
I see it. Yeah,
I don't know what's going on today, but the racist bots are out. I don't know if it's because you lot are a little bit frustrated about Lizzie or whatever. I don't know if that's getting you a bit stretched that, Prince Charles is now writing his statements and it's not collecting what you want to collect. But hey, we're here, Sha. Lorraine, what's your thoughts? LJ. Why is LJ not being seen by the ladies? Are the ladies missing a trick here, or is LJ just a problem?
With LJ, I'm not seeing the intentionality there with him. I think he's playing it a bit safe. I think he's doing all the right things and saying all the right things, but I'm not getting the sense that he actually means it. So he seems to be wanting to compete. Well, he seemed to be wanting to compete with what's his face, Justice. When he got there with Looney, he's already 10 steps ahead of me. I need to rah, and all this kind of stuff. So, I'm not seeing that he's genuinely interested. Yes, he's calling, but what are they talking about? What is he actually saying that's giving the ladies the idea that, you know what, he's genuinely interested, he's pursuing me, just because someone's calling you and you're keying and you're chatting, right? We could be chatting about anything. I'm not getting the idea that, you're pursuing me, that you want to be with me. And I'm not really seeing that. The only time I kind of got a hint of anything was when he was saying, "Oh, I can't wait 90 days," and for sex, this, that, and the other. But he wasn't even saying it specific to anyone. He was just saying it that I can't wait 90 days. He wasn't saying I am so attracted to you, this, that, and the other. Even when Shanika was talking to him when they were playing golf, like she was making all these innuendos. And he wasn't even giving her anything back. I thought it was a bit much of her anyhow, but I mean, so I don't know. I think he's just playing it a bit safe. I don't think there's any intent. I don't think he's genuinely pursuing. So for me, that either means he's probably not interested. So he's not putting in that much effort. So he's not interested in the women. Or he can't be bothered, or that's not what he came here for. So that's what I would say. So I wouldn't look at the females and think at the ladies and think, oh, you guys, you should totally go for him. Because why? Just because he's not Justice, just because he's not moving mad like Justice, they should go for him. No, he's not doing anything or saying anything that would make me think, do you know what, this is the guy. Even Randall and his shorts, do you know what I mean? At least when he's talking and he's saying all these things, whether he means it or not, it's giving the ladies the butterflies. Do you know what I mean? To think, wow, I think he really likes me, or he's saying this, he's saying that, he's saying that. He's putting in some kind of work, and he is pursuing somewhat. Again, whether he's genuine or not is a different thing. But with Randall, I'm not seeing it. I would be the same. I would be the same as Looney, to be honest.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you, Lorraine, for breaking down the women's sets. Jay, LJ, what's the problem with LJ here, baby?
It's hard to say without really being around the person or catching that energy from that person. But trying to see what we see off the TV screen, it's just we're not getting much. The only real date that we've seen him go on with anybody is with somebody that he wasn't even really interested in the first place, and that was Shareese. I mean, that's the most that I've really seen him try to have real conversation with anybody. Outside of that, I think it's just probably not getting past surface, and a lot, like Lorraine said, on the phone calls and everything, they're probably not talking about much of anything outside of friendship type stuff. And then, you're doing certain things when you were calling Looney while she was out, but then now you're waiting on her for the phone calls. And I get it. You want it to be a two-way street and everything, but you already set that precedence where you're still doing one thing. So for her, all she has to do is just continue to wait for the call. And if she don't get the call, she's no longer feeling like you're interested in her anymore. So that might come off like you weren't genuine in the first place. You were just doing it just to make sure you're securing somebody in. And now that she has somebody else in the background, it's like, well, I don't have to put in much effort with you either. So, that's a two-way street still there. And I get it. It's not all his fault. Like I said, you're waiting for her to call you too. But it's hard when you start doing a pattern with somebody to start. If you was calling and then letting her call you sometimes and you start getting used to we both calling each other, it makes a difference than me just keep calling you all the time. The other ladies with Trinika, it's hard to say with Trinika because, like I said, she's a little player herself. So it just seems like she's been holding on to certain people so she could stay in to get to the people that she really wants to be with. And it seemed like more so that she really wanted Justice and probably Randall more than LJ. So that's also another problem. Then you have those things too. Height. Unfortunately for women, we do love tall men. Both Justice and Randall seem like tall men compared to LJ. So that kind of pushes him in the back as well for a lot of probably the other women too. So it's kind of a lot of things that's kind of working against him right now. And like everybody else says thus far is he doesn't really have that aggression in him. And in this type of setting, you kind of need a little bit. If you don't know how to play the back and let women come to you enough, you got to go all out. You got to be on the extremes in this kind of setting, unfortunately. And just being in the middle is kind of hard. They're not going to grasp nothing. And if you're not giving them strong enough vibes to say, hey, I want you, this is where I want to be, even if it's not genuine, they're going to keep moving. They're going to keep you there because they're going to get your vote out of it, but they're going to keep moving to somebody that's more so, you know what, I really like you. Let's see where this goes. And so you got to kind of be assertive, especially as a man in this setting. Otherwise, you're just going to fall in the background. Nobody's going to pay attention to you. And that's kind of like where we see LJ playing at right now. And so if he doesn't step his game up a lot more and stake his claims with somebody, after next week, he probably be the one going off.
Definitely hear the I think, what? I just think to myself, AJ's, he's not dangerous, I don't get any danger from him, Maybe women might not admit this, but they lack a bit of danger, When I say danger, we're not talking about danger that's going to be ride or die, please. I mean, some people like that, but just a little bit of danger. What is his weaponry? At least Justice has some arrogance. You know what I mean? Justice has some arrogance. He's a good-looking boy. He's got some arrogance to him. That's some danger. You know what I mean? Randall has the height and the hoochie daddy shorts, okay, and the confidence to wear it with his knobbly knees, okay, all right. So Mike's got the that assertive kind of energy. I mean, there's a little bit of insecurity there, but he's got that kind of gruff look about him. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got something with the muscles as well. It's a bit of danger. You know what I mean? But with LJ, even Samson has his own lane. Samson is the emotional deep person. You know, that's the danger. You might fall down that well. You saw how Brandy was. She didn't want to go down that stairway. She said, I don't want to go down the emotional stairway with Samson, okay? But, you know, there's something with Samson. But with LJ, I guess within this spectrum of a group, he just seems he seems very ordinary. It's like being Marvel characters with... It's like being in the Marvel Adventures and then being Hawkeye. I mean, Hawkeye is great, but... Let's be honest. Hawkeye is Hawkeye, okay? Hawkeye don't have no special powers like the rest of the group, okay? Hawkeye is a...
Is it just me or I can't hear Kojo? Okay. No, we can't hear you. The sound's off. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Sorry, it went off there for a sec. But yeah, no. So yeah, it just there's no danger with him, you know. Like I said, that's why I was just saying it's like Hawkeye, because it is a bit like Hawkeye, because you know Hawkeye is, he's got no danger about him, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think LJ needs some weaponry, and when he get in this particular group, he needs some weaponry. He hasn't got it. And also, I think with Trinika and Looney, I think Trinika's, you know, a nice girl. She's actually the opposite of what LJ is. I think she is a nice girl, and that keeps her looking at people like Justice. A little bit of danger for her makes her feel alive and wanted, you know, and a bit excited. And then Looney is just Looney. Because to be honest with you, Looney is living up to her name. Okay, so LJ ain't got a chance with Looney. You saw how her friend was. Let me not say this. Let me say this. Yes, JR, you want to say something? Go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, people are overlooking LJ's superpower. It's his voice. It's his singing. You heard the way he tried to serenade in the early parts, and it's a reoccurring theme on this show, man. So how can we overlook his superpower? It's his voice. He's the only guy that seems to be the one that will be outside your window with a little ukulele or something, banjo or some other instrument, singing outside your window trying to win your heart. That's the vibes that LJ gives off, right? So, yeah, he kind of comes across as corny when compared to the other guys, because he doesn't have that dog in him. He doesn't have that fight in him like that. He's very easygoing, right? And I think that although it may create a safe space to be a friend, I think the fact that they've called him brother vibes or friend vibes already, it's very difficult to get out of that. And so he's made himself too available, or maybe the ladies feel too comfortable around him to the point where they no longer perceive him as a conquest, a challenge. You know, I think they're mistaking his likability for timidness or weakness. And it's unfortunate, but I think this plays out in real life quite a bit, you know. His approach just isn't right for these ladies. They want someone more assertive. They want someone more like a Justice or a Mike. Not necessarily a Justice. I would probably say a Mike, because Mike has a couple of connections. Justice, Trinika and Looney. Yeah, like we said before, I think that's mainly aesthetic and the fact that he's so headstrong and determined, right? And they'll probably feel more protected around someone like a Justice as opposed to LJ. Like I can't imagine LJ getting worked up and, you know, standing up and, you know, defending anything per se. And even when there was conflict in earlier episodes, when Zoe wilded out on Shareese, he didn't. He made an attempt to trying to speak to Zoe, but he wasn't actually effective in doing that. Zoe just said what he said and then he left, right? So, but he did cover Shareese when she was upset. He did go and console her at her time, and he seems like he's that type of person. If he sees you're hurt, he's going to try and be there for you, you know, in that way. But I don't get the dog. I don't get the the ability to flip a switch and say, okay, look, this is what we're doing. I'm going to be decisive. Let's go here. We're going here. I've got you. Da 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 da. He seems more of a relaxed type of person. And like I said, I think he's in the friend zone now. It's going to be very difficult for him to get out of that. It may even take too long for him to get out of it. And it's a much shorter season this season because there's no curveballs. So I don't think he has the chance to really change the perception of him. Maybe if he belts out a few more hits, that might endear him to a few more ladies.
Anyone else got thoughts on LGA, El Junio, El Jahino? No one else got some hits on El Gino? Hey man, listen, I just think he's a nice guy. And nice guys finish last. You already know how I feel about nice guys. And I think also as well, I'll be honest with you, some people confuse the fact that he gets on with everybody people like him. It's a bit different. When I say like him, people desire him. It's a bit different. There's some guys, there's some women too, that people just like. They get on with them. LJ is that person. He's calling everybody and everybody can get on with him. They will never have a bad thing to say about him. But he don't really polarize anybody. He gets on with everybody, but he's not desired by everybody. Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that term that come up when JR, this when UK, Lorraine, this when the ladies were asking who's the leader of the pack. This is the term you use it for, not when mandem are with boys. You use it in competition mode. He's not a leader of the pack. If you look at all the other people in the group, he's not even middle. He's not even middle brand. He's at the bottom. He's at the bottom. Okay, so that in itself too is kind of problematic. And I guess also women too are also intuitively, they also as well look to see if in terms of attraction level, where does he fall on in terms of desirability, and if once one or two women make up their mind, it becomes social proof. And people kind of say, oh, maybe he's not that, maybe he's not all that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just think to myself that LJ is a nice guy, and that's about it. That's about it. They're gonna be like, oh, I met this nice guy. Man, them, if the ladies ever say I met this nice guy, just leave her alone. Yeah. If she says, oh, you're such a nice guy, as soon as you hear such a nice guy, listen. You don't want to be in that place, bro. It's the beginning of the end. I know some women will tell you, no, we love nothing. They don't. Okay, the majority of them do not. Okay, when they start saying you're a nice guy, basically means, okay, all right, that you are a grass snake. Okay, no, you don't bite, you don't strangle nobody, and you got no poison. Okay, you are not dangerous in the least. Okay, all right. You need a little bit of danger to you, a little bit of edge to you, okay? All right? A little bit of something. No one's saying to go and be out there, be a complete prick. What I'm saying to you is have a little edge about you. Have a little something about you that makes you stand out, Have a little something that makes you go, okay. You know what? I'm not really sure. And there's a bit of mystery there, yeah? Am I lying, Lorraine? Or you want the nice guy too, yeah? Lorraine, yeah?
Good guy, Pedro. A good guy. Different.
I don't want a nice guy. I want a guy that's nice to me, okay? I don't want the nice guy.
So you see, the ladies have confirmed it, They don't want the nice guy. Okay? And if they call you cute too, that's also another one. Not just These are you lot be calling people cute, man. It's not.
Don't be calling. Look, my mama hate when somebody call a baby cute. She be like, "Don't be calling the baby cute. Monkeys are cute." That's not what is cute is not a term of endearment at all. Like
no for us, man. Yeah, no. Lorraine, you disagree.
I disagree. I think that Randall's cute.
Who's cute?
Randall.
Randall's cute.
He has sex appeal or he's cute?
Both.
Okay.
You're an interesting soul. There's always one. There's always one she's always what? Have you caught a guy that you found attractive? Have you called him cute? You called him cute. You told him he was cute.
Absolutely.
God damn. There's
There's
always
a
one
time for
breaking the ranks.
everything. There's a time and a place for everything. Someone can be cute. They can't be mutually exclusive. Someone can be cute and sexually attractive at the same time.
Hey, listen, it's not, it's a rule, and there are exceptions to the rule. Lorraine is an exception, you know, and we appreciate the fact that she's a exception to the rule because, okay, woo, yeah. See, Caribbean girl. So listen, ain't nothing flowing. She told the truth. No, it's not making your juices flow. You need something to make the juices flow. You need something that's gonna make them ginger. You know what I'm saying? Make something on edge. You know.
I was just going to touch on something. The thing is, if you look at Randall and Justice, they both said that they play basketball, right? Competitive sport.
Yeah.
Mike seems like he lives in the gym, or at least has done for a period of time. Quite competitive. You know, you want to be the big dog in the gym, so you work hard to get there. A little bit of competitiveness there too. Then you contrast that with Samson, who seems to be a nice guy, or all-rounder, a charmer, and he buys gifts, right? For everybody, right? LJ would fall down the pecking order because he doesn't have the competitiveness. And I think Samson has a better way of communicating and more of a way of connecting with the ladies naturally, like his natural vibe, his energy. Like when Samson enters the room, he immediately is assertive and takes kind of, not control, but I think he presents himself in a way where the focus is on him, right? Yeah, very, very confident, very self-assured. Not in a negative way like Justice, but he's self-assured in a way where he allows you to express yourself and be who you are, and he's going to try and vibe with you and try and mesh with you, right? That's the vibe I get from Samson. So LJ doesn't have that. And that just may be the way that he's built. He's just not built to have that particular element to him. But I think it's typical of the case where the nice guy finishes last. You know, that's the saying, right? The nice guy finishes last.
I think it's just what you just was saying, though, JR. I think it's just confidence. That we see a bit of confidence missing. And probably around this group of men, his confidence is dropped down a bit. You know, sometimes we get around certain people and we have high confidence, and we get around other people and it's less confidence. And I think that's what we're not getting from him as much, is
Right.
he doesn't command that presence when he walks into rooms.
Right. And I get that. But is the maybe not so much confidence, is that enough for him to plummet down to the bottom of the pecking order and choose some of the guys who have more red flags ahead of him? Like, is confidence that much of a factor where without it, whoom, he plummets, and then you're going to be looking at Mike as your top option, or Justice as a better option?
Unfortunately, it's true, but it's easier to fix a lot of those other problems those other men may have than it is to fix confidence for somebody. That's almost a losing battle with that, because that person has to have that themselves. They have to come with it. But to correct or fix or even ignore all of those other things, confidence plays a bigger part than dealing with that stuff. And it's vice versa for men or women.
Okay, and do you think that LJ could be the type of person? I'm not a fanboy or anything, not at all. I'm just giving you another perspective. If LJ, do you think that LJ is the type of person that once he does get the reciprocity from a girl that he shows interest in, do you think that he gets confident once he realizes he's secured her affection? Do you think that could be an option as well? Like, so if he gets the girl that likes him, does that make him then man up and be like, okay, this is my girl, this is what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. And the uncertainty of who he's going to connect with, and the fact that he's been in the bottom, do you think that plays a part in creating some insecurity or some self-doubt?
To answer that quickly, around this group, possibly outside of this group, it can be a fleeting thing, like an up and down thing. Like he can get the person that he wants, but certain people might make his confidence come down when they're around him. It's kind of like with Mike. You'll start seeing he might start acting like how Mike acts with Kayla. You know what I'm saying? When certain people are around, you got certain competition around you, and I'm not secure with my partner, that confidence will drop. But as long as he has a partner that makes him feel secure and he can stand in that, then he'll be okay. I'll put it that short and simple like that.
Okay.
No, I mean, and by the way, today I'm actually not tired, to be honest. Today I'm actually all right, but it is cold because the energy prices are high. And honestly, they're high. Guys, listen, Russia have said they're cutting off all gas to us, bruv. It's getting worse and worse in the UK. Let me tell you something. I'm not turning on any heating. Okay, I'm blanketing up. So if you see me with a blanket, guys, I am saving my coins, because even when you turn even if you don't turn the heater on, they're charging you 135% more than your heating goes on. So I'm not trying to turn that heating on any more than it needs to be. Okay.
Listen, hey, let me second that, Kojo, because that's why I had to reach for the vibranium today. Because listen, that's what's keeping me warm, boy. The vibranium's keeping me warm, bro. Because I ain't turning on my heating at all.
I'm done. When I saw that blanket, I was like, Kojo's not trying to turn on the heating tonight.
I'm not turning on the heating, guy. We're in a crisis, energy crisis, okay? We are in an energy crisis. You thought pandemic was bad? This is an energy crisis in the Europeans, okay? Because Russia have said they're not paying anything else. They're not sending any more gas to us, okay? So we're gonna have to find a way to make it work. No, with obviously the situation with LJ as well. I think I think obviously as well with LJ coming into the situation, he's a quiet soul, but he's got his own way of doing things. I know he has. It's just, I think, like Jay was kind of saying as well earlier on, that you get into a competition with other guys, and then if it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to shine bright, and maybe in a different environment, different pond, different pool, maybe he shines a bit more, and we see a different type of LJ, but at this moment, it's a tough one at this moment. So yeah, it's not easy, but it's tough out here. You know what I'm saying? It's tough out here. It's not easy to be LJ. As for me, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because I'm as soon as you put me in that friend box, I'm gonna destroy it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna become that dickhead. Man, them listen to me. If they put you in a friend box, okay, destroy it. Grab the box, tear it up, and then throw the pieces, okay? There's no need to be in a friend zone for 10 years, begging and hoping and praying that you're going to get a little nyash, okay? Listen, once you've tried twice, and she's kept you in the friend zone, let's keep it moving, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving. I've been there. I know. I was young once, and I was begging. Listen, don't beg, okay? It's pathetic. It's sad, okay? And you're not looking good, okay? You heard my story earlier on today about simpish behavior. We don't want to do it, all right? Yeah? Have some dignity, have some pride about you, all right? Have some shame, okay? Man, them, hear me. Have some shame, okay? Exit that friendship zone. There's no need to be in there for 10 years. One day we'll have a little conversation about that, you know what I mean? One day we'll have a conversation about that, the friend zone box. Lorraine, why are you smiling like that? Because she knows that there are souls that are lost in the friendship box right now. There are souls in her DMs that are friendship box that she's not going to open ever. Ever. Am I lying, Lorraine? You don't want to say nothing now? You know what? Silence is consent, guys. There's no need for her to say anything. You feel me? Any last thoughts again before we shut up shop?
Did I miss the conversations about Mike and Samson? I missed all that, did I?
We talking about that in part 2. That won't be today. That'll be on Monday. Yeah, I was keeping it short today. So we'll talk about them on Monday. But any other last thoughts on LJ, Justice, Shareese, Khadian, Swayze situation? Any more last thoughts?
Yes, I didn't speak about the Shareese situation.
Okay, go
Um,
for it.
Shareese is. Do you know what? I just need to clap for her because she knows what she's doing. When she dropped that in the deliberation room, and she said, "Well, Swayze called me, and he said this, that, and the other." Her and Khadian see each other, right? They are basically the same person. So she's basically thinking, I'm gonna get one up you right now. I know what's happening. Oh, you don't want to talk about it. Well, I'm gonna make you talk about it. I'm gonna make you look a certain way. And made it seem as though, yeah, he called me so distraught and this, that, and the other because you were trying to ruin Khadian because there's some kind of competition there. So she knows what she's doing. And then she said, I don't even want to talk about her because I don't want her to have my name in her mouth. You have her name in your mouth. You're talking about, oh, maybe because she's drinking this, that, and the other, making all these assumptions and all this other stuff, but you want to make it seem as though she's the one that's chatting your name as well. So she's definitely trying to have one up on Khadian. I feel like when there's two people who think that they're the bee's knees in a situation, they're always going to be trying to fight for the top dog position and the top of the pyramid position, and that's what's happening here. Like, who's going to have the last word? Who's going to have the last laugh? Who's the best of them all? So she threw Khadian under the bus in that situation, and she done it so swiftly. She was just like, yeah, I'm gonna you want to talk about it? Well, I'm gonna talk about it for you, okay? So yeah.
Love that. Thank you very much, Lorraine.
I was just gonna say.
Got a minute.
Yeah. All right. I'll make it quick. The thing is, Shareese and Khadian are not even vying for the same guys. So the cattiness is really, like Lorraine said, a personality thing. It's like they're trying to fight to be the queen bee, or they're both two peas in a pod, but it's not even like they're attracting the same guys or going after the same guys. So it really is just a personality thing, a personal thing. I remember a few episodes back, Shareese said, "Oh, she's like my sister," right? No, she's not. She's like you, and because she's like you, you feel threatened in a way when she's around, right? So they're always going to keep butting heads as long as they're on the show together. So I think, yeah, their situation isn't quite finished yet. Shareese won this round, and that was to get back at Khadian for what she did with Zoe and how she tried to throw Shareese under the bus. And now they've cancelled each other out. It'll be interesting to see who tries to get the next leg, the next point in this game that they're playing against each other.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you much, JR. Listen, it's been an amazing conversation, guys. We was going to do a quick one. I did say 1 hour, but as always, I don't stick to the time. But you know what? It was good because, we got to have a good conversation. So we'll do part 2 on Monday night, and that will have also the rest of the that happened on that particular episode 7. So we'll do another 2 hours on that Monday night and finish up on that as well. So do join us again there as well for the lives. Again, if you haven't grabbed a ticket, I've pinned up the message as well. Grab your tickets for ATL and New York live panel. We want to see you guys there. We want to have conversation. We want to get deep. We want to explore different topics on relationships and et cetera, et cetera. And it's going to be fun, So make sure you grab your tickets if you haven't already done so. Promo, and promo, they say. You know what I'm saying? And listen, Nian and Elisa, I'm expecting I'm expecting you to I'm looking for the request on my Insta. If I don't get it today, don't bother after today. Me, I'm not playing with you. If you don't supply this request, I don't have time for these games. Anyway, I'm just abusing my power here, guys. Sorry, apologies. But no, listen, in all honesty, listen, guys, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. I would do a summary, but I'm not good at that. That's what Sean's job is. Actually, Jay, you're quite good at summarizing stuff. Yeah.
I kind of don't even want to summarize it because we're gonna do a part 2.
You can summarize
Monday.
part 1.
Okay, fine. Okay. Listen, when you play petty games, you win petty prizes, and guess what, Khadian? You are the winner. And Shareese was your prize, okay? Sometimes you need to learn how to just have some tact, close your mouth, and stop divulging everybody's business, including your own partners. So therefore, these things won't come back to bite you in the butt. Shareese, I advise you don't want your name in people's mouths. You got to start keeping people's names in your mouth. It's going to keep going. You guys say petty people like to go, let's tit for tat. So she going to bring it back up. Y'all going to keep feuding. And we already see it in the clip that y'all going to keep feuding. So if you want it to end, sometimes you just got to be the bigger person and just let it go. Just leave it alone and walk away. But obviously, y'all going to keep battling for who's the alpha in this room. So it is what it is. As far as Randall, please, we need you to get some more wardrobe because Corey and other people are tired of it. I'm sorry. This chat has been going crazy. I've been reading all night. They want you to do your wardrobe. You kind of had a growth spurt and you outgrew everything that you got right now. Got to get you some more clothes, baby. But, we enjoyed the kisses that you did have. I know we didn't speak on it. We'll speak on it next week. Who else we speak on? LJ, baby. We're going to have to get you to toughen up in this crowd. You got to get a little raw up in you, get a little fire up under you, put some pizzazz up in you, put some pepper in your stepper and do what you got to do. Act like a true island boy and show them that little gangster up in you. Island people be sneaky and they be having some thugged out ways. So you got it in you, baby. So we just need to see a little bit more of it. Justice. My brother, bye-bye. And to the rest of you guys in the audience, thank you guys for being here. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss Monday's review. And if you haven't already, go ahead and get your tickets. We're going to see you guys in Atlanta, DC, and NYC. So we want to see you guys there. All right? You guys have a happy Saturday. Love and peace to y'all.
Love that. Thank you, Jay. You know what I'm saying? That's how I like to see it done. The benediction done correctly. Deacon Jay. Listen, guys, it's been amazing. It's been great. Okay, all right. Just because there's an energy crisis doesn't mean, sis, you gotta cry. Okay, grab your tickets. Okay, grab your tickets. I don't want to see nobody in my DMs there wrong. Some of you already hit me up already. Listen. Grab your ticket, you know what I'm saying? But listen, it's been good. It's been good. I might actually do a little live after, I'm feeling frisky. Not like that. But I'm feeling free, I'm feeling like I could, maybe talk about something. Maybe I can do an Ask Me session, if you've got some questions about relationship. Maybe I might do a little something just for like half an hour, 45 minutes before I go to bed tonight, since I'm already up, and cold already. I might just, maybe do a little live after. So look out, give me 5 minutes. Let me just go and drink a little juice and come back and do a little late night session, We'll call it a little after dark, You can ask me anything. And I'm sure some other people will join us on the panel as well because they'll be up as well. But listen, for us on Ready to Love, it is done for tonight. Okay, guys, for Ready to Love, it's done. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Give me some time. And we'll do... Someone said OnlyFans. And we will do... Please, Only Bible. And we will continue some other conversations as well. All right? Listen, guys, it's been blessed. It's been amazing. Grab your tickets and we'll see you again in about 10 minutes' time. Much love and appreciation. It's been breezy.